Most universities today struggle with a common problem. Your current staff is wearing too many hats to review resumes at scale, and they don't have time to keep up with all the resume trends. In today's video, we'll walk you through the best ways to use ResumeAI to help your students level up their resumes. This covers everything from selecting the fonts, including the experiences that highlight their strengths, and creating a resume that passes employer applicant tracking systems. To start, log into the admin side of Big Interview and head to the Resumes tab. Then select Scoring Guides. This is where you'll set the criteria that your students' resumes will be scored against. The most common ways universities use scoring guides are so that students can get specific feedback based on their major or year in school, but also work as assignments for specific classes. Let's go through some of the most important areas to ensure your scoring guide is complete. Starting with the basic settings, name your resume according to its purpose. For example, if it's for graduating seniors, you could call it Seniors. Or if it's for master's level business students, you would call it Graduate Business. Then you can add your school's recommended resume template, decide if this guide will be public or private, and if you want to get email notifications as students submit their resumes. If you choose a public guide, then any student can access it when they go to scan their resume. If it's a private guide, they'll need an access code to use it. Private guides are ideal for class assignments, or if you want each teacher or staff member to keep track of their students in one place. After that, define if the student should focus their resume on education or experience, if you want them to score gold or silver, and if you require them to include a job description, so their resume can be reviewed by an ATS. Then click Next Step, and you'll be able to completely personalize your scoring guide. Remember, we do have Big Interview's automatic settings in place, so you don't need to customize everything. A good rule of thumb is to check every section to ensure it's aligned with your school's resume suggestions. The more information you give here in the scoring guide, the less students will need to come in for resume reviews. Once you're in the customization section, you'll see the main areas ResumeAI focuses on: readability, credibility, ATS fit, and format. Here, you'll be able to edit each section's criteria importance, score settings, and even the feedback ResumeAI gives your students. For example, with the summary statement, you can decide how important it is to include, how long or short this section should be, and if your students don't score well, you can link a guide to summary statements in the needs work feedback your students will receive. Once you've gone through all of these settings and have selected your preferences, click Next Step in the top right. You'll now be in the Invite Users section. If your scoring guide will be public, that is, open to all university students, there's no need to fill in this section unless there are specific students you want to send it to. But if you do want to use this scoring guide for a specific group of students, like a class, you have a couple of options. You can either upload their information by CSV and send an invitation email, or copy the access code at the bottom of the screen and share it with your students. Then select Finish Setup, and you've got yourself a scoring guide. Your students will now be able to stack their resumes up against your standards without spending hours with your career services team. And you can create as many scoring guides as you need. You can choose to have one basic one, or even create scoring guides for each major. You can save time by duplicating and renaming scoring guides for classes or majors with similar criteria. If you have any questions about setting up ResumeAI or sharing it with your students, we have a step-by-step guide you can follow. Just click the question mark at the top of your screen